Hi Virgo, welcome to your August 2023 reading. Sorry, I'm a little bit late. So whenever you're seeing this, maybe mid-month onward, that's when it's intended to be seen. I'm sorry about the delay again, though. It's so interesting. I really wish I had pulled your cards while I was shuffling, although I take forever to shuffle, so maybe I'm not so sorry. But um, as I was shuffling, all I heard was there's a lot of understanding this month. Then I pulled this card of understanding from my Osho Zen deck, excuse me. It wasn't just understanding, one particular topic. It was like understanding, what I'm here to do, understanding my purpose, understanding my relationships. I'm not just talking about love relationships. I just feel like there's this big perspective moment here going on. It's like taking stock. And of course, we have like all of these retrograde energies. And of course, I feel like this is the month where things are a little bit standing still. And I actually feel like it's kind of nice going into your birthday season, or maybe you're already there. Um, I just feel like it's a time to reflect. I feel like this year kind of starts off with a bang, and it's showing me it here because I'm really like, if I'm doing just a general reading in the bigger, broader scope of like what's going on in the world, September feels like a doozy. And for me personally, I'm like, bring it on. I've been in this holding pattern, waiting. I thought things were going to be a doozy in 2020, 2019. Like, I've been waiting. I've been ready to go. And to me, this is actually very exciting. This is kind of the fall of Rome. And when I say this, I don't necessarily mean in the sense of like countries. I mean, really, to me, it feels like the big power structures, really, it's different this time. So I'm not talking about like the United States or, big power countries falling. I'm really feeling more like big corporations. So I feel like we're going to be obviously seeing transformations in the banking sector. I mean, even things just today, I'm recording this on the 9th, that are happening, buying bonds. I mean, it's wild west out there. It's fascinating to watch. But I feel when I'm reading for Virgo specifically, and even as I'm saying this, I'm seeing like a very active mind, very, there's lots of things to consider when kind of coming to like these, it's almost like epiphanies, like aha moments that are of great clarity for you in your life. When it comes to, again, specifically what you want, what's the meaning of life? What's important for me in a relationship? What do I need? So it's really this moment of taking stock. Am I in the position where I'm reaping the benefits financially? Is it worth the energy expert? Am I doing what I love? Because the Queen of Swords is here. This is the air element where I feel like going into Libra season, I know I'm jumping ahead and jumping a little bit all over this reading, but as I go into Libra season for you, to me it feels like there's even more aha moments, but it has to do more with your root system. So there's this aha moment when it comes to your root system, and I feel like it's a time to be very receptive to input from the universe. I'm getting these feminine energies when it comes to insights, when it comes to relationships, your home life, all of these things. I'm very receptive. I'm very open to what spirit has to bring me. I'm very open to my best life possible, even if that entails something that I don't see coming. Because again, you have this crumbling card, the crumbling. What are you clinging on to? And I think paired that with the overarching energy of death, this is a positive thing, but I feel like when people see this, it's like almost like, oh my gosh, this is a little ominous. What's going to happen? This to me, as I get older, if I don't see something that's not serving my life, or something I'm just kind of going along with, or something I don't see, like, take the blindfold off me. I would love to see, and I want to live in truth. That's bringing me back to this moment in my life that was very pivotal. I think it was around 27, so right around my Saturn return, when I found out like earth-shattering things about my life that have been kept from me. And my family was like, we weren't sure if we should tell you, blah, blah, blah. And, my response was the truth. I would, no matter how difficult, no matter how shocking, no matter what, no matter how painful, I want to know the truth. I want to see the truth, though. And I feel like, when I'm looking at your reading, yes, but in the bigger picture of the world, I feel like this is going to be a time of a lot of disclosure. I feel like there's going to be, I mean, we're seeing it all over the news. People's minds are shifting. It kind of ties into this great awakening that's happening. I mean, look at the Schumann resonance. I talk about this in all my videos, but you can literally measure the vibration of the earth. I mean, it's been online forever, and even as of a few weeks ago, these patterns started showing up that we've never seen before. They look like sacred geometry. It was fascinating to see, to live through these spikes in energy, these lulls. I mean, the energy can be felt, and that's where I feel like as we kind of drift through this, things that aren't meant for us, these structures, these power structures, we'll see them on the big scale, but we'll see them in our lives. It's almost like, and when I talk about structures in our lives, it's almost like exiting the matrix, like the structures of our mind, how we think, the possibilities that we think are available to us. I just got a reading, excuse me, not a reading. I just got a email from somebody that I read for all the time, and they're like, "How do you stay positive all the time?" It almost was like wanting insight, but also like it's kind of like, how do you even do that? Are you like crazy? Like, um, maybe no. Really though, I feel like when you are, I feel like this, I mean, it almost only comes from when you're able to kind of go to like these really dark places. I mean, all of the teachers that I've had that I've, have these wisdoms. I mean, with chunks of wisdom, they've been to like the cliffs of darkness. They've gone through these life experiences, and I feel like as a collective, we're going through this dark night of the soul, and things around us are crumbling. Things that we thought were perfect. I'd rather see the truth, and I feel like when I'm talking about this for you, I really feel like it's talking about your passion, your purpose, and how you make your money. I mean, you are Earth sign. We're going through this Uranus and Taurus transit that's been dragging on. Of course, it's dragging on. It goes on for 7 years, but it's really shaking up kind of the tectonic plates. I feel like when it comes to your fire, your passion, you're wanting that back. I'm getting a message for some of you that have gained weight, like having that fire return, making some it's like resolutions for maybe your new birth year, kind of going into this new frequency, new vibration, new numerology, making these resolutions. And I feel like dreaming a really good dream for yourself, but I feel the need for this fire to return when it comes to like activity levels. I feel like it's very important right now to stay very healthy, be very careful about what you're eating, filter your water, do all that good stuff, watch the good shows. Like nothing kind of planting any negative seeds in you for right now. Not to say good vibes only and to avoid these things, because I don't think that's helpful either advice. But just to be very cautious and be very awake at this time. Hypersensitive is what I feel for you when it comes to like the realities of your life. And this at times, at the beginning especially, can feel a little bit earth crushing, soul crushing. Like, well, it's kind of like shedding these layers. You kind of feel bare and naked, like who actually am I? But on a level, I'm seeing this understanding. It's like breaking free of these, I mean, he's breaking free of prison, of confines of a cage. It almost reminds me of that movie, The Truman Show. Breaking free of this illusion. And in many ways, that movie is nonfiction. I mean, there is an element here where there's more than we understand. And it is a psychosomatic universe. I mean, the world does revolve around us in some certain extent. So be very careful about your thoughts and things. That's what you bring towards you. That's the world that you manifest. It is all about you. You are very important in this, I feel like, contribution factor of what you are adding to the world. There's an element here of I feel like I'm being drawn to my voice, my throat. What do I have to say? My expression. So if you're an artist, if you're a writer, if you're a creator, if there's something that you contribute to the world that I feel like has your stamp on it, I feel like you're reconsidering what that looks like, the importance of it, how you go about it. I want to say change this in a way that it like contributes positivity. I feel like, again, when I'm looking at writers, and like if you're writing even like scripts, I'm getting like movie scripts. I feel very positive, uplifting messages of hope or of understanding. It's so interesting. A lot of messages here, but the old is kind of falling away, and there might be a little part of you that feels like it's falling away. When this happens, I'm being drawn to talk about like when I do fasts and stuff. I really crave things that I'm trying to explain this in a way that makes sense. Like for example, last month I did a grape juice cleanse, so just grapes for a week. And at a certain point, the frequency is almost too much to handle, and you want to dull it down. Even like before, when I used to study with shamans, I mean, for 10 years in South America. So I used to smoke a lot of mapacho, which is like jungle tobacco. And before I did readings, I used to have to do this because it was a way for me to regulate it's almost vibration. So if you have a way with food to regulate your vibration, I feel like you're going to have to watch that and use this uncomfortable energy and just sit with it. That's the tricky thing with like fast. Like you'll feel hungry at first, but like I could have all the grape juice that I want. I just didn't want it. So I wasn't really hungry. It was something inside of me calling, the cravings, whether it's, usually I got cheese cravings. So then, you have maybe like parasites. Sorry, I'm going in a weird direction here, but this is what I feel when I'm looking at death and the crumbling. There's something here that doesn't align with a higher frequency that needs to crumble away. So if I'm even saying parasites, which might gross some people out, maybe this strikes a chord in you. I feel like a lot of us could use a parasite cleanse. We'd use it all over third world countries, just not first world, for some reason. Six of Wands, though, I feel when I'm looking at your energy, there's a movement towards success and fulfillment here with the Knight of Cards and more stability, but something here is taking more than it's giving to you. I would analyze and take stock of people in your life. I mean, unfortunately, there's a lot of comings and goings. I feel the next 2 months of friendships. I don't like to say that because it's difficult, but that's Venus in retrograde. I mean, all relationships are taking stock. We're taking stock. Is this adding value? It doesn't mean you need to cut some people out, but I do feel for some people you may. Four of Swords. I mean, this comes at a moment where you're really centered, you're really aligned. And if you're feeling wobbly, it's inviting you to embrace meditation, some sort of meditation, whether it's before bed, whether it's when you wake up. I feel like these are really powerful times. Or if it's just a moment in the middle of the day where you're just kind of feeling lost, and kind of like the Matrix, take a deep breath and just I practice just breathing it all away. I can imagine the energy just shifting if I'm stressed out or something. It works great for me. The Artist, though, being central in your energy, I haven't brought this up yet, but it's dreaming a new dream for yourself, dreaming a new dream for your family, your family tree. I'm seeing like your future, the future life you're building. So I do feel like there's lots of considerations this month about who you're aligning with, your partnerships, your children, like everything kind of getting organized. So it's almost like the analogy I'm seeing is like looking in the fridge and taking stock of everything. Is there something in there needs to make room, needs to make space, clear it out, make things simple, clean. I'm also seeing the metaphor of like a Buddhist temple. What do they do most of it? They clean. They keep the space clean. It's a practice of meditation as well. So I'm seeing kind of getting things in order, and I'm realizing now it's a Virgo reading in Virgo season, how perfect to kind of get everything in line, and it feels so nice. But I would like to read The Crumbling just because I love this book and I feel it is helpful when understanding. Okay, so this is from the Work Your Light Oracle book by Rebecca Campbell. It says, what are you clinging to? There's a shift happening right now where anything inauthentic can no longer survive. Relationships, jobs, Social structures, anything built on shaky ground is destined to tumble down. It's happening to bring you back home to who you truly are, both individually and to society as a whole, so you can live a life that is in alignment with who you truly are. When you're in the thick of it, it can feel like a personal attack from the universe. Have faith, because the difficult times will be your defining moments. You will be reborn in the fire. You're being called to surrender, to stop trying to hold it all together, to loosen your grip, to let the crumbling occur. It may be difficult at first, but in the end, the sooner you let go, the sooner the rebirthing will occur. What are you trying to hold together? What are you trying your best to avoid? How are you trying to pretend everything is okay? You have what it takes to allow what is falling away to tumble and fall. Once the tower has crumbled, you will be able to rebuild your home on solid ground with mighty foundations and a view that is so magnificent that it will take your breath away each new morning. Kali, the goddess of destruction, and the Black Madonna are with you now. Lay it all on their altar. They can hold it all. As I was reading this, I really felt, again, I was seeing a flame, feeling like a lack of passion, whether it's in relationships or just life, work. I feel like this is where it's like a bruise and I'm poking it. Like that's the spot. It hurts, but it's what attention needs to be brought to that area. Maybe a bruise isn't a great analogy, but let's see. It needs to be brought to that area, and I feel like this is where a lot of change can happen with, I feel like, critical thinking almost, or like problem solving. So like if you're wanting to bring more fire into a romance, it's like two people getting together, having the difficult conversations and going about it in a really positive way. Once you kind of get over that hump of the difficult conversation, it's like, let's have fun with this. Let's reinvigorate this. Or if it's like your work, if you're an entrepreneur, or if you're a writer, like I keep seeing this energy of creativity. Bring fire into it. Bring like a silly creativity. I watched a movie the other night with a friend, and they're like, this is so weird. I'm like, it's so refreshing. I haven't seen a weird, silly, creative movie in such a long time. I know it's kind of dumb, but like, I was digging it. That's kind of what I feel, like a little bit more of a playful, whimsical month. While we're in this period, it's almost like where our breath is being held, like, oh my gosh, what's going to change? What's going to drop? What needs to be discussed? I feel like the best way out of this is to have fun with it, be light with it, be at the same time, be genuine and serious and honest. But there's a way to go about things where I feel like the artist is like, bring in the energy that you want to see, the trajectory you want to see, bring in more joy, bring in more lightness to your life. At the same time, consider the long-term effects of the changes that you're making. So it has to be things that feel like it's taking from you, not giving you life. It's taking your life, whether it's a job or whatever it is. Is it feeding your soul? I feel like that's the big question. And this is where awakening comes in, but let me read this. This is understanding. This is from the Osho Zen Tarot, which I love. And it says, the commentary, the bird pictured on this card is looking out from what seems to be a cage. There's no door, and actually the bars are disappearing. The bars were an illusion. And this small bird is being summoned by the grace and freedom and encouragement of others. It's spreading its wings, ready to take flight for the very first time. The dawn of a new understanding that the cage has always been open and that the sky has always been there for us to explore can make us feel a little shaky at first. It's fine and natural to be shaky, but don't let it overshadow the opportunity to experience the lightheartedness and adventure on offer. Right there alongside the shakiness, move with the sweetness and gentleness of this time. Feel the fluttering within, spread your wings, and be free. Yeah, that comes with the constructs of the mind being lifted. A lot of overthinking. I felt that in the beginning. There's a lot to focus on. There's a lot of distraction. There's a lot of mental activity. Hence the meditation card crossing this. This is what needs to be resolved. More meditation to put it upright. Understanding. You are out of jail, out of the cage. You can open your wings and the whole sky is yours. All the stars and the moon and the sun belong to you. You can just disappear into the blueness of the beyond. Just drop clinging to this cage, move out of the cage, and the whole sky is yours. Open your wings and fly across the sun like an eagle. In the inner sky, in the inner world, freedom is the highest value. Everything else is secondary, even blissfulness, ecstasy. There are thousands of flowers, uncountable, but they all become possible in the climate of freedom. Yeah. Yeah. I used to live in New York City for 10 years after college, and I had everything I thought I wanted, and then I looked up one day and I was like, I don't want any of this stuff. Like, it doesn't mean anything. I was still caught in that vortex. Not saying that if you live in New York City you're in a vortex, but I wanted to be free. I had no plan. I had a little savings and I just left. Basically how it happened. I went to Ecuador and started studying. I started following my passion. I didn't have a plan though. I just knew what I wanted. And it's been another 10 years since then. So I've been traveling, figured it out along the way, and trusted the process. It's really been difficult. I'm not suggesting anybody do this unless you're really ready. But I wouldn't have it any other way. I mean, that sense of freedom, the ability to live freely, it wasn't gifted to me. It wasn't, but it's possible if you want it or enough, essentially. So a lot of change when it comes to home, relationships, job, the Pentacle energy for you. And we have this Taurus Scorpio eclipse coming up. So we're thinking about it. We're in review. I would be very intentional about what you, they're blowing out the candles, what you intend for this year ahead of you. I feel like it's going to be really transformative, but this month in itself, there might not be a lot going on, but I feel like behind the scenes, in the mind, a lot is going on. Do the meditations though. Okay, I'm going to end it here. Thank you so much, Virgo. I hope you found this helpful. If you'd like a personal reading with your specific questions, I'm happy to do those for you. I'll leave my information in the description box below. I didn't mention this though. This is the card of friendship. Bringing more sweetness and joy into your life. I did kind of mention this, but this is in your higher self. This is what it wants more of, this sweet connection, this easy flow, this genuineness. This is like a child energy. The child sees something it wants. It doesn't overthink it. It just goes for it. Be like this. What draws you in? What's sweet? What's happiness? What's playfulness? All right, I'm going to end it here. Thanks so much to Virgo. Have a wonderful month of August. I'll be back soon with another reading. Take care. Bye, guys.